That's exactly where our AI solutions shine, James. Our chatbots and AI assistants can manage emails, respond to social media inquiries, and even handle calls. They work around the clock, ensuring no customer query goes unanswered.
Okay guys, by the end of this video, you should be able to create voice agents. In order to do this, we need to understand exactly what voice agents are. So how we're going to do this is we're going to do a bit of a Synthflow setup. If your business gets a lot of calls and you think that humans of your business can't keep up, it's a perfect time for you guys to get into AI voice agents, all right? So if you don't know who I am, my name's Hamish and I'm the founder of ATech AI. We're an AI automation agency or artificial intelligence studio based out here in Queensland. Our goal is to incorporate AI into businesses, streamline their processes, and really just save them time and money in the long run. So this does have a bit of a process. This is going to be a bit of a longer video, guys. It's very important that we understand this, okay? So we're going to go through a bit of an overview, and then we're going to go through a setup of the Synthflow. We're going to go deep into prompt engineering. I know in my previous video we did touch on it a little bit, and I did create some tools to help you with the prompt engineering side of things, but I do also feel it is important to know how this works on a at least fundamental to high level overview. So once you do start to create your own agents, you can understand that it's just prompting, nothing else. What's the problem right now? You get an insane amount of calls per day, right? So the solution to that is an AI phone agent that can handle those calls, summarize them, and keep you in the loop. And there's just a list of departments, but I mean, the list is really endless here, guys. Like if you're a founder, if you're a CEO, for example, I've got a phone agent that is connected to my personal voice assistant called Davina, which I made myself, custom coded. She has a function built inside her that allows her to make a call when I don't want to. So just to ask basic questions or anything. Any context I give her in relation to the call, she can just do that, right? Automatically. These kind of phone agents can be used for any kind of use case and any department, whether that's personal or business, in my opinion. And it can really save a lot of time, when you can't be bothered to do things in particular. You've had a long day and you've got to make those calls, send those emails out, do this, do that. That's the kind of things where AI can come into play there really well. Some user research behind this: high call volume impact, right? So businesses with a high call volume often suffer from customer dissatisfaction due to long wait times and missed calls. This is obviously very, very, very prevalent in customer service, all right? Especially if you're in real estate, if you're in a service base, if you're a tradie, lecky, plumber, mechanic, whatever, like you guys get a lot of calls every single day. And I know this because I've spoken to pretty much 95% of Townsville and Mackay tradies so far. Everyone has said yes, they suffer from a lot of calls, can't find the right staff to handle these kind of calls or to even do the job. So in my findings, poor customer service does cost companies between $75 billion and $1.6 trillion annually. Additionally, 78% of customers have abandoned a transaction due to a negative service experience. Again, they didn't answer the phone on time. I've been calling them so much, no one's getting back to me. I've been sending emails, no one's getting back to me. Screw this, all right, I'm out. That's all it takes for a customer to walk away, right? And that entire thing could have been saved with AI. At least the initial contact could have been made, some kind of loop would have been kept. 9 times out of 10, that customer would not have walked out. A lot of people, come up to me and saying, Hamish, I really want to put AI into my business, but I don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I just say to them, don't. Cut your costs, right? Reduce them. Stop using GPT-4 Turbo, for example, and use 3.5 instead, because it literally costs nothing to run, right? These are the kind of solutions and tools that, or kind of understanding that you need to have about AI models on a fundamental level, so you can create the best possible solutions for your business, right? Because you know your business better than anyone, because it's yours. If you're suffering with a lot of calls and that kind of thing, obviously a phone agent is the way to go. Emails, keeping up with them, responding to them, create an AI system that manages your emails. As soon as they come in, it automatically responds to them and does all that kind of thing, right? And so on and so forth. But again, this comes down to what you want to do. Voice agents can handle repetitive inquiries and free up human agents for more complex tasks, resulting in cost savings. And implementing AI in customer service can reduce costs by up to 30%. And businesses that use AI report a 38% increase in profitability on average. Terrifying statistics to some people who think, AI is coming for my job, I'm gonna be taken over by AI. While that might be true, guys, for some industries it's more true than others, but while that might be true, the reality is that whilst it is going to take jobs away, it's going to increase demand. Two, it's going to create additional jobs, right? Like prompt engineers. So you can sit there and get paid to write English. There's no coding, there's no language barrier. You're literally speaking English to an AI and you're getting paid for that. And we do have more information on our website here as well, atechds.com. Feel free to check it out there yourself. Here's Sophia, right? She's 28 years old. She's a real estate agent in Brisbane. She's a really busy real estate agent though, and she's always overwhelmed by numerous repetitive inquiries, leading to missed opportunities and reduced time for high priority clients. She needs an efficient way to manage these calls to maintain client satisfaction and optimize workflow. What comes into mind there? Definitely a voice agent, right? And these kind of examples is just to really showcase how this can work in the real world and what kind of problems these kind of people in my niche is facing, right, in terms of real estate. We also have Maria Rodriguez. She's 38 years old. She's a property manager in Mackay, and she struggles with constant tenant inquiries and maintenance requests. Handling these tasks manually leads to delays and tenant frustration. She really needs an automated system to ensure timely responses and improve tenant satisfaction. The cool thing is that at the end of this video, I will be chucking in a bonus tutorial on how to use external tools after the call has been made. So stick around for that until the end of this video. It is going to be a long one, as I said, but it's going to be worth it. All right. So now we have the fundamental knowledge of how this is going to work. Let's start building. So as you can see, guys, I have quite a lot of agents here, but let's create one from scratch. Let's make this one an outbound. You can do exactly the same thing with inbound. You'll notice couple of things that changed since the widgets. So you have access to a couple of other things. So initial pause before greeting. This is really handy. So, you know, for example, when someone says hello or when someone answers the phone on the other side, sometimes they have a bit of an issue with the AI agent speaks too fast or quicker than expected for the human to respond. So you have this natural delay, which I like to have about 2 seconds. And again, custom greetings and changing the language. Everything else is pretty much exactly the same. Nothing else has really changed here. So let's give this a name. All right, let's go with Drew. And now if you notice as well, we can enable recordings. So again, I do have my Twilio account enabled in here, which allows me to do that. You do get charged for the recordings, but I believe it's like 1 cent per call. Here's where we get some really cool things unlocking for us, okay? As you can see, we have some functions here that we can do, or some actions, right? Here's where we can write our prompt. But here we also have a knowledge base. I'll attach my phone number. So now that we have this assistant set up, we can go and configure it in a moment. I want to check out the knowledge base. So the really cool thing about this is that you can have anything in here. You can have URLs, text-based content, or just PDF documents about your business, right? So for us, for example, I've got our pay-as-you-go pricing and the solutions that we offer. Really handy, right? So I'm going to use this. Basically, I'm going to build a outbound sales agent for ATech so you guys can see how it works. Simple as that. It's going to use our website and our solutions and pay-as-you-go pricing. I can show you a little bit here. So that's basically what it is, just condensed down, and then pay-as-you-go pricing as well here. Let's go back to David, and I have a variable here, okay, that I've selected here with name. So as you can see straight away, that comes up in here as well. So if I put in Hamish, right, and then I make the call, I can reference that. Cool. We need to go back to the handy prompter. You guys can just keep using this and I'll keep updating it for you. But of course, as I keep saying, please build on top of this. Don't use this as the finalized version. Do build on top of it because it's designed that way. So that's enough for a starting point. Really big props to the team at Synthflow. You guys are amazing and thank you for everything that you guys are giving us. As AI automation owners, it's incredible what kind of power we have right now. This prompt is good, but I want to add a couple of things to this. Because this is an outbound sales agent, it can have that level of personalization, or we can add a bit more pieces of information into it so it can know exactly what it's getting into. For example, here, I'm going to add a section of variables. Name, company, where we met. We'll also put in here personalization. That's the variables that it's got to play with now. Watch what happens when I do this. Suddenly all of those variables are now here. So we have the name, the company, where they met me, and a bit of a personalized touch about them. Maybe a conversation I had with them, or an email thread, or a DM, or maybe something on their LinkedIn came up and, you know, I found that very interesting. All the information's there. We can pretty much test this now if we want to. But, you know what? Let's give it a test. So we have all the information we need. Filled in all the blanks. Okay, let's see what happens when we make the call.
There, am I speaking with James?
Yes, you're speaking with James.
Fantastic, James. This is David from ATech AI. We met at the QLD AI Hub Summit where you had a chat with our CEO, Hamish. I believe you two discussed how AI could be used in your HR and sales departments at James Investments Ltd. Is that right?
Yeah. We had a bit of a conversation about that, mate. Yeah, the thing is, like, although I was quite, you know, impressed by what he does and what you guys do, I just don't really have the foundational knowledge really to even understand if I need AI in my business. You know what I mean?
Sure thing, James. Let's start with the basics. In your HR department, AI could help automate tasks like screening resumes or scheduling interviews. In sales, it could analyze customer data to predict trends and improve targeting. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. Like, I mean, maybe I'm like, my business is too small, maybe, for that at the moment.
I totally get where you're coming from, James. It's a common misconception that AI is only for big businesses. But in reality, businesses of all sizes can benefit from it. For instance, automating routine tasks can free up your team's time to focus on more strategic work. This could lead to improved efficiency and cost savings in the long run. What do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it definitely could, right? At the same time, is it, how much does it cost to implement is the other question.
Great question, James. The cost can vary depending on the specific solutions you need. But here's a rough idea. We charge per step and task within each automation workflow. There's also an execution fee, but we offer volume discounts for workflows executed more than 500 times per month. Plus, there's a minimum monthly charge to cover operational expenses. Would you like me to send over a detailed pricing breakdown?
Yeah, that could be good. Perhaps maybe we could discuss this further, maybe booking in a consultation or something.
Absolutely, James. A consultation would be a great way to dive deeper into your specific needs and how our solutions can help. How about I send you an email with some potential dates and times for a call? We can also include that detailed pricing breakdown.
So as you can see, the call was completed. We have the entire transcript here that we can get access to, which is really, really cool. Alongside that, of course, the call was indeed recorded, so we can listen to that here. And this is a new feature as well with the analysis. This allows you to see some really, really cool things. You can see if the persona was adhered to, the style was correct, the steps taken were correct, if there was any repetition at all, any objections that were handled right, the goal, appointments was set or not. There's some just literally incredible stats that you can get directly from the call. And I imagine that this is actually costing Synthflow quite a lot of money in the background to actually allow us to use this kind of things. Props to them, and you should really be utilizing this if you are a Synthflow user. And if you're not, why the hell aren't you? Go down to the description box below right now and sign up and make an account using that link below, and just start creating these agents for yourself. You'll thank me later. Fundamentally, guys, we have reached that point where we were at our previous video. We have now created the agent on a fundamental level with the prompting, and we have some custom variables in there that we can enter in, no problem at all. But now let's take this up a notch, okay? This is good, but we can make it better. First things first, we can start extracting information on the call. These could be things like yes and no questions, surveys, for instance, right? Customer qualifying, single choice options, open-ended questions. So you can imagine the possibilities here. For example, for one of our agents that we've built for an electrical company, we have a list of info extractors that just go through and ask the right questions. All the answers get stored into separate bundles or separate variables, and then we can just book in the job for that business. Then and there, everything happens after the call, and as soon as it's done, they get notified via an SMS or an email saying, yep, the job's booked in, no worries at all, see you at the allocated time. To access this again, once you come to prompt, then you'll see info extractor, click on here, and then you can add a question, and then it can ask that accordingly. So you can transfer the call to a direct number. If the user is interested in making a booking, for instance, it can call my mobile and transfer the call to me, and I can actually go in and physically book them if they want, and we can add some really cool things here as well. So just to show you how this works, give you a bit of an idea, so we can go here. I'm just doing this for my use case, obviously, guys. You guys will do it for yourself. If you have a, if you're a business and you have multiple lines and you have extensions, we can enter that in here, no problem at all. This just allows, a timeout of 30 seconds for the call to go through. If they don't answer, then this happens. Could be like, great, I'll transfer you to our CEO, Hamish. Transferring you now. Sorry, couldn't get through to Hamish. Can I request a call back? And then we'll create that. So we got the call transfer there. I realized I didn't do it in info extractor, so I guess we'll just do a quick question here, and then we can also do the ultimate thing, which is real-time booking. I'm just going to enter in my calendar details here just to show you what it looks like. What we have here is the interface, so I'll go ahead and set this up for Australia, Brisbane. Initial booking date is that, and that's the interval and time slots. So I'll go through this in more detail for you now. So basically what I've just done is I've connected my cal.com calendar. Cal.com is basically a free calendar that allows you to do everything programmatically. It's kind of like Calendly, but it's just that little bit better in my opinion. How this works is you go to the app here, you go to whichever calendar you like. So in this case, I'll go for this one. Up here, you have a calendar ID. Right after event-types, I'll have this all in the description box for you as a guide. When you click here, then you'll see the ID. Highlight that and then put that over into your Synthflow account. If you go to security, go to developer in the settings, and then go to API keys, you can grab an API key from there. And that's how you access that. Okay, so again, create a free cal.com account and then go through those steps that I just showed you. you'll be able to connect your calendar up to your Google Calendar or Outlook, whatever you use. Then you can actually start making bookings in the call. To show you the settings that you can do here, so you can offer up to 3 days in advance and up to 3 slots per day and up to 3 intervals per time slots. So there could be 3 hours, could be 30 minutes, could be whatever you want. There's a new option as well to send a confirmation SMS, but at the same time, I haven't really tried this out yet, so let's give that a go. Now for send SMS, unfortunately, I do not have a phone number on Twilio that supports SMS. We have now gone through the kind of intermediate step of adding these tools. So David can now make bookings on the call. It can now extract information to see if they're interested in referring to us, and it can also now transfer the calls. I'm going to change this one up to saying, if the user asks a question that you do not feel comfortable answering yourself. I'll apply those changes and we're good to go. We also have a tool section here now as well that I'm going to add inside the prompt, and we can do call transfer. Now we can enter the information in here again. So let's go test 2, and so put all the information in here, so we should be able to receive the call.
Hey there, am I speaking with James?
Yes, you are. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm David from ATech AI. We specialize in creating chatbots, voice agents, and AI assistants that can integrate with your business systems.
Okay.
I believe you had a chat with our CEO, Hamish, at the Queensland AI Hub seminar about using AI for your business. Is that correct?
Yes, I remember him now. Yes, he asked a lot of very interesting questions to the panel. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys make chatbots and assistants, is that right?
Absolutely, James. We create chatbots and AI assistants that can integrate seamlessly with your existing systems. They can handle a variety of tasks, such as answering customer inquiries, automating repetitive tasks, and providing 24/7 support. This allows your team to focus on more strategic work. Can you tell me about any specific challenges in your business that we might be able to help with?
Well, that's a good question. I would probably say, yeah, again, call management, maybe emails, a little bit of social media responses, and that kind of thing.
That's exactly where our AI solutions shine, James. Our chatbots and AI assistants can manage emails, respond to social media inquiries, and even handle calls. They work around the clock, ensuring no customer query goes unanswered. Plus, they free up your team to focus on more strategic tasks. How does that sound?
That does sound good, actually. How can I proceed further with this?
Fantastic, James. The next step would be to set up a meeting where we can dive deeper into your specific needs and show you how our AI solutions can help. We have some slots available this week. Would Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday work for you?
Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. What time slots have you got?
On Wednesday, we have slots available at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and 12 p.m. Which one suits you best?
Wednesday, I could probably do 11.
Awesome, James. I've booked your appointment for 11 a.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd. You'll receive an email with all the details and a link to the meeting.
Yes, I just received it now. Okay, guys, so as you can see, that was much better. I didn't try all the things out, but it made the booking and it did the sell, so I'm happy with that. Let's again take this up a notch. So if you guys use Go High Level, you can just connect it directly up in here, and then you can install the Synthflow app and then just go from there. There's also Zapier integrations as well with workflows. As I like using the REST API, they can just loop through all of my leads and then just make calls on autopilot throughout the day, taking about 30-40 second breaks in between. So what you are hearing right now, you're probably thinking, the voice doesn't sound as good as I thought it would. Here is where you can change that. Right now, we're going to go from the turbo synthesizer to the multilingual. What this allows you to do, if you're using a voice that has a specific accent, sometimes using the turbo models for the voice synthesizing. Basically, the concept of the multilingual is that now it can understand, talk, and pronounce in different accents. It now makes it easier for the AIs to actually talk to you in, whatever language you want, essentially. And again, optimize streaming latency. I like to increase that to the max. Stability, we'll put that down to about 0.8. Similarity, that goes to 0.2. And the style exaggeration, I like to just keep as normal. And that's my preferred optimal settings. So now, in my opinion, I think this is pretty much good to go, except for the fact that it's using GPT-4. Okay, so it's using GPT-4 to do the responses. That's very interesting. I'm going to switch to GPT-4o though to do the responses and see if that makes a difference. So I'm still going to use GPT-4o because I reckon 4o is just going to be so much better. Fundamentally now, this is now ready to go, okay? And we've already deployed this on the number and it's already making the calls. Now again, this is outbound, exactly the same thing you can do for inbound, and it'll be the same thing. Select the number, put the prompt in, connect the tools up, and you're good to go. Although this may seem very easy to set up, and it is, it's extremely easy to set up, right? And again, it's all about this, the prompting here. Now I may not be the best prompter in the world, but this is what's been working for me and my phone agents for my clients. This is my take on prompt engineering. If anything, from my point of view, prompt engineering, just like normal engineering, yes, you have a base fundamental understanding of it, like everyone else does, but then you add your own flair and own creativity and to make it your own. Very much like a creative engineer in that sense. What you're writing is a set of instructions for a system to follow to a T in theory, but in practice it's not. You are prompting or you are instructing the system to perform a set of tasks in a set way every single time. Yes, it's difficult to achieve that, but again, that's where a fundamental knowledge of prompt engineering comes into play, which is why we have things like the role, the task that it's doing, okay? These specifics, what the context is. Let's give it some examples, right? And then we can give it some variables and tools here so it knows what's going on. At no point here have I actually written a script for the call. That is effectively all there is to it. How do I deploy this, right? Well, it's already deployed into a phone number, but you want it to be doing more than that, don't you? You want it to be able to go through these leads like I have here. You have a list of leads and then you can just feed it that list and then it can just go and start calling away. You can do the same thing in Synthflow using what's called batch, which is here. So you can just upload a CSV of your leads and then it can just make the call for you. In this case, again, because I'm a programmer, I do like to do it programmatically. More than happy to show you that here as well, actually. So fundamentally, this is what I have here. So I've defined the function here, API key or the API URL that allows me to send as many calls as I like. All right, guys, welcome to the bonus tutorial here. We got access to a whiteboard because we're in our new office space. If you want to, again, work with us, go to atechds.com and you'll find more information about that there. I did promise you guys that after the call ends, we can do some really cool things, right? In my case for, booking a job or sending information to wherever you need it to go, fundamentally, we're going to focus on that part of things, okay? What the plan is that once the call ends, we're gonna send the info to make.com. And then from there, it's gonna be able to book the job directly. Because if you don't know, make.com is a platform that connects applications with other applications and just sends the data there. Here's how we're gonna do it. As soon as the call ends in Synthflow, we're gonna send the information to a webhook. That's how the information is going to be sent over. Then here, once we log the information through the webhook into the booking system, and again, this could be, in this case, for my client, it's going to be ServiceMate. But of course, this can go to Xero, this can go to CRMs, spreadsheet, it can go anywhere. The point is that we're using the book job as an example to, how to actually do this. Realistically, guys, once the data is entered the webhook, it can go anywhere you want it. We can even send this information by email. So it really doesn't matter. Again, in this case, once the information is sent here, it's going to be able to book the job. Once the call ends, gets sent out through a webhook, all the data, and then that data from the webhook can be pushed wherever. And in this instance, it's going to be booking the job, or we can call this final action. That's how it's going to visually look. Now let's put it into practice. So here's how it's going to work, right? Create a webhook and let's just call this SF hook, just so I know. And we're going to hit save on that. I'm going to copy this to the clipboard. And what that does is allows us to paste it into here. So we're going to go to David, we go to deployment, and then you see where it says REST API. This will be there by default. Just click on REST API, paste in the webhook that we have here and just hit initialize. And when we go back here, you'll see it's been successfully determined. So now we can hit OK. And now we're just going to set this flow up here. We want this to book in a job, right? What we can do is just put this information into a spreadsheet. So once you've just done that, just hit the 3 dots and then go refresh the form. And then it should select everything for you. Now we're pretty much ready to test this out. What we can do is just start a call, and then once the data has been retrieved from this call, then we can add the rest of the variables here. So I'll go ahead and do that off screen. Send a call to myself, and of course make sure you hit play just to run this module only. So we've just ended the call there, and that should have now gone over to the webhook. Now that we've got that, perfect. So it's actually sent the information through. So as you can see, it's come through and we can see the lead here. So we can see the name, the contact details, custom data, any actions that were executed here. And then we can also see the call. Okay, so give you a very, very brief understanding. Once you come into the assistant, enter the info extractors. That's what's going to ask the questions that's required for booking the job. What's your name? what's the address that we'll be attending. They can pull that from here, as you can see. So executed actions. For us right now, we've got an info extractor that asks if the user is interested in referring our business to one of their friends. And that's just a simple yes or no. And that's where that's coming out here. Extract info action type and the description. Is there any interest? And then we have the choice here as well, yes and no. That's where you'll find all your information. If the agent does not execute this extractor, it will not appear here. If it's not doing that, and maybe you're prompting, definitely have a look at that. This is fundamentally how you do it. So everything is done for the executed actions, and then you'll grab the variables from there, and then you can just add them to your spreadsheet, book a job, do whatever you need to do. So this all happens after the call. There are some, custom functionalities coming out soon. Hopefully you can actually do things on the call. Of course, right now you can make bookings and all that kind of stuff, no problem at all. You can send SMSs as well, extract information and transfer the call to a human. But Synthflow is coming up with more external functionalities while on the call. This process only works at the moment after the call is ended. Yes, I know it's a bit annoying, but in all honesty, if you think about like a human aspect, if you're talking to a human who's handling this task for you of making a booking or booking the job in, 9 times out of 10, they'll either be filling it out as, they're talking to you, or they're just taking the information and then they'll say to you, okay, it's been booked in, you'll receive an email confirmation. But you don't really get that till like sometimes maybe 5, maybe even 10 minutes after. What's happening there is pretty obvious, isn't it? The human is just taking their time, putting in the information into a document, then transferring that information over to the system to then book in the job, and then you receive the confirmation. In that regard, it's not as different as that, because as soon as the call ends, sends the information accordingly, and then sends it to wherever it needs to go. I mean, you can go crazy with this, guys. This is just a very small example. You can have 5 or 6 steps set up here, have the AI summarize the call, do whatever you want, just go absolutely crazy. Even in the prompting side of things, for instance, you can be like, can you just confirm if your email address is correct? And if it is, then it can just send that email through as well. Send a text message, book in the job, create a Stripe customer. There's so many possibilities here. This is just literally dipping our feet into the water to see what is possible. And it's just, again, as simple as going to the assistant, deployment, adding this webhook in here, initializing it. Once it's received the data inside Make, you can do whatever you want with it, which is the incredible part. If you guys want a bit more detail on how this actually works, I'm more than happy to do another video just to explain what happens after the call. But I do have some other videos lined up first. I'll quickly explain that as well. We have quite a lot of videos coming out soon about how to do text-based agents, because I've had some interest in that from my audience, and I'll be posting about that first, and then we can go dive deeper into how to do these more advanced automations after the call is ended. Hopefully you guys find value in this. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. If you want to work with us, just go to atechds.com and you'll find all the information there. Why don't you book in an AI readiness check? This is basically a little workshop that we do with businesses, just so get an idea of where they're at the moment, what kind of tools they're using, what kind of processes they have, and where and how AI can fit into those processes. If you're a business in the real estate industry, definitely do get in touch. We would love to have a chat with you. So again, atechds.com for that. Thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.